We're on SAT Practice Test 8, Math Section 2, Question 17. Level of difficulty is hard. Before we start on this problem, I've got to go over some terms. We've got to go over congruent and similar. In geometry, congruent has a very specific meaning. It means exactly the same. So with the shape, all the sides are the same, all the angles are the same, everything you can think of is the same. Similar means the angles are the same. So that means the shape's going to have to be the same, but the sides could be different. So let's just look at two triangles. And you're going to have to trust me on this. These are equilateral triangles. So what are the degrees inside? They're all 60 degrees because equilateral means the same. All right, equilateral triangle, 60, 60, 60. What are the sides of this triangle? Let's say they're 4. Okay, does that mean that this equilateral triangle, do the sides have to be 4 as well? No, they can be anything. Let's make them 12. All right, two equilateral triangles, same angles, different sides. Are these triangles similar? Yes, they have the same angles, they have the same shape. Are they congruent? No, because they are not exactly the same. All right, that's the geometry lesson for today. Let's do this problem. In triangles ABC and DEF, angles B and E each have measure 27 degrees. Angles C and F each have measure 41 degrees. Which additional piece of information is sufficient to determine whether triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF? So I want to kind of write down what I want. Really helps to understand the question by writing it down. So just additional information congruent. All right, where are these triangles? These aren't the triangles, and they're not here. So you're going to have to draw two triangles. Don't try to draw them to scale because you don't really know what they look like. Man, that's a brutal triangle. Try and do better on this one. I'm going to label the points. I'm going to go ahead and assume that they're in the same places, although that assumption is not necessary. So B and E have 27 degrees. They're in the same spot. Okay, that's good. And C and F are 41 degrees. All right, you definitely want to write ABCD because you're definitely going to have to cross off here. We are not going to go through a geometric proof. We're just going to eliminate answers that can't be right. Do you know anything else about these triangles? For example, you know there's 180 degrees in both of them, right? You know there's 27 here, 41 here. Could you figure out how many degrees are here just with the information that we have? And of course you could. You're going to take 180 and then you're going to take 27 away, then you're going to take 41 away. And when you do that, you're going to get 112 degrees. All right. What do you think? These triangles congruent? Are they exactly the same? The angles are exactly the same, but what about the sides? We don't know about the sides. Let's go down to the answer choices and see what we can cross off easily. Do we need, as an additional piece of information, the measure of angle A? Kind of a trick question. We already have that information. We don't need it. We already have it. It's not going to help us, but we already have it. Okay, let's look at D. No additional information is necessary. We need something, right? Because we don't know anything about the sides. So just if you kind of know anything about what congruent means, anything about any geometry, you ought to be able to get this to B and C. Now let's look at B. The length of AB. So if I know the length of AB, I'm going to make it up. I'm going to call it 8. It's my favorite number. So if I know that AB is 8, what do I know in terms of the other two sides of this triangle, and what do I know about the sides of this triangle? The fact is I don't know anything, because this is 4, we said this is 12, but it could be anything, right? So that's not going to be helpful to me. So process of elimination, it's got to be C. There's a geometric proof here that says that if you know one side, both triangles, then you can figure out all the other sides, and you can figure out if they're congruent. We're not going to go through that. The important part is A was for sure gone, D is for sure gone. If you plug in something here and think about it, you know that B is gone. It's got to be C. Get it right and move on.